Hello everyone, welcome back for another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about cardiac imaging. We're not going to talk about cardiac planning because I already did that back in the day. So you can click on here if you haven't seen that. We're going to talk about the protocol, specific on a Siemens scanner. You and I, we're going to build a protocol from scratch. And I'm going to show you all the pitfalls, show you what you can do. If you find it useful, please adapt it. And we're not going to use the dot cockpit from the heart or the new name Go Heart Assist. But we're going to use many of those free functions, put it in together to the sequences, build it as easy as possible, because cardiac examination itself can be complex, scary, difficult. It's not like a simple knee imaging. It really demands a lot of training, However, if you have a good protocol and as a base, it will be much easier for you to understand and use this. So if you're interested, stick around and I will show you. For those who are new, my name is back again. I'm an MRI radiographer. In my channel, I'm covering things from basic to advanced MRI topics, tutorials, just like this one. If you haven't subscribed yet, considering doing so. As I told you in the beginning of the video, we're going to together build a protocol. So we're going to go directly to the scanner, a Siemens scanner, and we're going to use the E software. However, the things I'm showing you here today will also be the same on a new software XA. The reason I'm using this E software is because that scanner was available to show you, so that's why I will use that. Let's go to the scanner and I'll show you. Alright, like I told you, we are at the E11E software. It doesn't matter if you have an XA platform or whatever, it's the same, only the name, the colors, the name's a little bit different. So we're not talking about dot cockpit anymore because that's the old name. Now it's Go Heart Assist, right, for cardiac imaging. Go Heart Assist is more like everything is automatically positioning, planning and everything, but it costs money. However, many of those functions in the Go Heart Assist is a freeware on your scanners. So you can use those free functions into your sequences to make it easier. Not like automatically planning, but automatically shimming and pop up, pop down. So you avoid a lot of clicking here and there, drag and drop sequences. Everything is more automatically. It's easy for you to focus on protocol, focus on how you can do cardiac instead of focus on a lot of keyboarding. Here you can see we are now at the software. Like I told you, in the program card right down here, you can click on this one and you have dot cockpit. Right here, you're into protocol. So into the protocol, we're going to build a scratch, right, from scratch. So you go to new program. Okay, from here, we're going to drag and drop what is called a strategy. That's the protocol. That's a protocol, the strategy. We start with that one. So up in here, you see something which is called patient view. You can rename that to cardiac view or whatever you want, because it's only a name which says that this base of the protocol is for cardiac. Okay. So let's name the strategy. We can call it cardiac routine, whatever you want. So the basic patient view is for the whole protocol, right? We can change that to something else. In the basic patient view, there is no breath hold, no nothing like that. I really want to have something with breath hold. So you can go here, default, patient view add-ins. So this depends on what scanner or what kind of software you have. For some software or some scanners, you have a lot of options down here. Depends on what kind of assist you already bought or have installed at the scanner. So if you look at this one, basic patient view, it doesn't have any breath hold instructions there. Neuro doesn't have it, but angiography, angio, patient view have it. So we can drag and drop that one and we can use that one. Let's drag and drop. And then we go right click, we go to the edit properties. So in here, there's a lot of things you can do. So the reason I'm using angiography is because of the automatic breath hold. This means that during my examination, I can just click on this, change the instructions and change the breath hold, change the pause between the instructions. That means that from there on, for the rest of the protocol, it will change along with that. So you don't have to go into one by one sequences to change it. One click, that's it. So I use this one. And I just use, this is Norwegian, of course, so it just means the expiration and breathe again. And we're going to take around 10 seconds of pause in between those sequences. You can decide this, whatever you want. And you can also change this during the examinations if the patient is struggling. So we're going to add in configuration because there's a few things here I really want to change to make it tailor it to a cardiac protocol. So here is a few things. You can see proceed to next. I already made a video on that, because if you have on image reconstruction finish, that means that the previous sequence need to finish before the next one opens up. This is good if you don't like things to pop up open all the time. If you have this edit man on the side, right, the gray man or whatever you call it, that means that the sequence is not done and everything just pops up automatically. You can use this one if you don't want it to pop up. But for now, I just use it normal. I don't want to use this on this protocol. Auto code select is good to have on, because if you have this on, every time you open this protocol, it will overrun it. So that means that if you have it on, it will be on either way. Let me show you a pitfall. So let's say you see the query, and then you have what you have up in here: core memory, autocode select, table move, notification. The main problem is if you're doing like an elbow, or your colleague is turning off the autocode select because you don't want to have the spine core elements activated, and then you turn it off and you forget to turn it on again. If you have this one off, that means that whatever you are saying to this protocol, it will overrun it. So having this one off doesn't mean anything for the cardiac protocol, because you already told the cardiac protocol to always have it on. By this, you will safely have the automatically coil select on. So I really recommend to just have it on, because you don't know what your colleagues did on the previous examinations, right? And GSP, and this is the GSP. So this is very cool. For this one, you view GSP layout. You remember, if you are doing an examination, you have what we call 2 segments, 3 segments, Maestro, Cardio, UI. So we're going to use Cardio UI. The reason for that is because if you use this one, it would be almost same as Maestro, but you have 1, 2, and 3 window in behind. And another thing which is good is that it automatically pops up the physio. So you would see the ECG, because ECG is of course very important. So I just have it on, and there's a few things I really want to have on: the image tags, the reference lines, table position I want to have on, coil, so I really want to have it on, and the adjustment volume, I want to have it off. The adjustment volume is the green box. So for the whole cardiac examination, you just need to do one adjustment in the beginning, and the rest of the protocol will copy along with that one. So I just want to have it off for this one, and I will show you what I do later in the protocol. So the view graphics line or box mode, I will show the difference. I like the line because I really like the simple line and not the double line. I will show you later in the protocol. And those things, I just leave it like that. Windowing on series is good to have on. So whenever you're doing window level, everything goes through the sequences, not only one slice, but the whole series. And the zoom pan is the same. Copy graphics on, I really want to have it on, because some localizers you have multi slices, like you have coronal, sagittal, axial, so you just drag it, drop it, so you don't have to take one by one, or right click to check if it's on or off. If you have it on, it's always on. And the scroll, I like to have it as number. This is up to you. So there's a lot of things you can do here. So we just close this one and we say okay. So for now, the protocol is still empty, but however, the skeletal, or whatever you call the base of the protocol, is now done. There's a lot of automatic functions we already set to this protocol, and now we're gonna find the sequences, and we're gonna do a few things on those sequences as well. So we're gonna go for a localizer. Let's find a localizer. This is directly from the Siemens tree. So I'm just gonna use those localizers. So the first localizer here is for the whole straight planes for the cardiac, right, in 3 different planes. And then we go in directly for the 2-chamber view, 4-chamber view, and then a short axis localizer. We're not done yet with these ones, because I'm going to show you something here. So I'll go to default, and I go to add-ins. Add-ins means that you can put on different add-ins to your sequences. Okay, remember that. Patient view is for the whole protocol. Default add-ins, what I'm about to show you now, is for the specific sequence. So we have a lot of things there as well. So I'm just going to use generic views, because it's easy for me to do those different functions. Double click on that one. And then whenever you open a protocol, there's a lot of parameters. You get overwhelmed with all the parameters, but you don't need all that kind of parameters. It's just a few things you need to change, right? You can change that. We go to add in configuration. So here at the parameters, you have what you can decide whatever you want. You can have like the field of your read, the phase. You can have those small parameters if you want your colleagues or yourself to change those without having the whole protocol or the whole setup in front of your eyes. So let's have phase oversampling. So what I did, I just write PHAS and then they will pop up and you just click on that one. It's very easy. On the TR, I rarely change the TR on the localizer. I just remove those two ones. And slices, I want slices. So you see here, I already chosen slices there, so I cannot write slices here again. So you need to delete it before I can rewrite that one. Now I can write slices. That slice thickness is not a big deal for me. It's just a localizer. So I want to have capture cycle. You see CAP doesn't work, nothing comes up. So if you go to advanced mode, click on the advanced mode, and then will pop up. So whenever you're in here, I recommend you to go to directly to put on the advanced mode and everything will open up for you. It's easy for you to choose. So advanced mode. I want to have the capture cycle because that's where I, capture cycle the ECG for the patient. And as you can see, the P stands for parameter, and we can change that as well. The two options, P for parameters and T for text. So I just click that one, so I can write the text. Remember to capture cycle. So whenever you open the sequence, it will pop up a message for you to remember that. There's one more thing I want to show you. Yeah, so as you can see, there's some guidelines here. So that means that you can put in whatever you want here to guide your colleague, your text or whatever. And I will show you later in protocol how you can do that. There's one more thing I want to show you. Everything you take directly from the Siemens tree, this phase encoding direction is locked. Okay, it's locked. I really want to have it open. The reason for that, I will come back to you later. Whenever we're going to run the protocol, I will show you why. So every protocol I take from Siemens over, I just take off the auto. And then I close it. And that's open. So every sequence I take from Siemens, I take it off. So whenever you're doing this kind of optimization or protocol without the Go Heart Assist, so we're only using a partly function of the Go Heart Assist. And here you can see auto load. The load images to stamps. That means that your new images will be here. Load images to graphic segments will also be here, right? So this is where we want it to have, and it depends on us how you want it to pop up in the window number 1, number 2, or number 3. So I just use, for the first localizer, just use all segments. So it will pop up in all the segments. So it's easy for me to do it in sagittal, coronal, and transversal. So voice commands. This is very important for being able to use the voice commands, the automatic voice commands with this dot setting. You need to use dot setting auto voice. Okay. If you're not using that, it won't work. So this one, so whenever you're using this one, it will be overrun by your protocol. So it will be easy for you to change from manual to automatically and so on and so on. So use dot settings. I'm happy with that one. So that means that I already built now a generic reviews for the localizer. So we can reuse this one. Just drag and drop. You don't have to build a new one each time. You can drag and drop and you could tailor it a little bit here, a little bit there for your new localizer, for your new sequence, whatever you want. So I open this one. You can see whenever I open it, it will pop up like this. The parameter is not overwhelming, right? I'm pretty much happy with that one as well. So I open this sequence, and what I told you, just turn it off. It's just directly from a Siemens sequence. And then I also connect it to the load stamps. Whenever I'm working, I always have in mind where the images should pop up. So you don't have to find it each time. Automatically, your eyes know directly where you should go. So this one, I want to be at segments 1 because it's the first 2-chamber localizer. And the 4th chamber, I just drag and drop the generic views because it's more or less the same. And this one is for the second. whenever you finish with the 2 chamber and the 4 chamber would not be upon that one, so it would be next to it, so it would be easy for you to have an overview. And remember to just turn off that one as well. And I also keep in mind I forgot to use the dot settings, so remember that. It's very easy to forget stuff because there are a lot of click here now, but these clicks you're doing here now, the preparation for the protocol, will be so much efficient and time savings whenever you're running the protocol. So the base of the protocol we're building here, you can reuse that one to the next protocol. It's just drag and drop, very easy. So I just take the dot settings right away, and then also remember to put on the generic reviews and turn off that one. So we are now happy with the localizers. Those are the localizers we have. So we're gonna go for a function. We're just gonna take one from retrospective truth is Cena. Just take that one. I'm just gonna rename this as a long axis. And I'm gonna reuse those kinetic views. However, I'm gonna do some little small modification on this one. And all my new scene I wanted to have on segments 1. The reason for that is because I know that segments 2 and 3 is those planning segments, so I can plan the next step in peace without new things just pops up all the time. So in the first segments, new things will be there, and number 2 and 3 will stand still. Okay, that's how I usually work when it comes to cardiac. Okay, so adding configuration, as I told you, for this is a retrospective technique, so there's no capture cycle, no nothing like that. So there's a few things I want to change here, like the capture cycle. I just want to delete that one. There's no need to have it because there's no available to capture cycle. It's a retrospective technique. And slices I also remove. Field view phase or sampling, it's okay in case you need to go on with that without artifacts. So now I'm very happy with the long axis. Okay, I'm just gonna connect this to the dot settings, and now we're gonna have mapping. T1, T2, we're gonna have some kind of a decision there, because if you look at the T1 mapping, there are different types here, and it depends on your RR interval, your heart rate, right? So if it's above 700, you should use this one. This is long is pre-gadolinium, short is post-gadolinium. And if your R interval is below 700, you should use this one, pre, post. Okay, if you need a mapping, you don't need to drag and drop and find the sequences. So we're gonna make an easy decision here. During the examination, you just take a look at the heart rate and then you can decide. So there's a few things here. We're gonna take the decision, drag and drop that one. So my decision here is not yes or no. It's a yes. We're gonna run mapping, but whenever it says yes here, I'm gonna have the R interval above 700. On this no, I'm gonna have the R interval below. So now you have the chance to choose between those two during the examination. So I'm just gonna drag this one over just to copy the name. It'll be easier, so I don't have to rewrite everything. So just right click there and copy. And then I just Control V for paste, and then I can delete that one. So now we have the name, and I would do it the same for below 700. Copy the name. And, yeah, very good. Okay, so instead of the word decision, I really want to call it like T1 mapping pre-gadolinium. Okay. So we're in here now. So we have a lot of things we can decide here. Decision type, we can make the decision in the patient view. That means that before you start the sequence, there's a decision you made. You should either choose this or choose that. It's very difficult, right? Because during examination, the heart rate can change. So what I recommend you to do is to have the decision is made during the workflow. So that means that you can run the sequence, and it's something you can do while you're running. There's nothing you should do before you do the examination or have the patient on the table. So we're going to drag over that one and the long one also over there. Perfect. So up here we have simulate. Simulate means that you can check how your protocol will be looking at whenever you are having a patient. So it will be looking like this. So you have the localizer, the long axis, and then you have this option here. So whenever you come here, you have the options to choose above 700 or below. So the sequence will automatically activate itself for you to choose. Perfect. So we go back to edit, and for some, yeah, and then we can also have some generic views. So let's check this one. There is a capture cycle for mapping, so that's why I'm using this generic views right here. Yeah, slices I can delete because it's only one slice. So yeah. And we're gonna use this, I'm just gonna double check that one is off, perfect. And we're gonna drag and drop that one as well. So for T2 map, I just drag and drop T2 map over and you can see it goes under this, right? But I don't want it to be like that. I want it to have as not as an option, but as a next sequence. So I want it to pop up, not as a option during RR interval above 700. So what you gotta do now, we want this to expand itself. I right click, and then you have some expand button right there. So you see now it's expanding itself. That means that it's not belonging together with this decision right there. So it's on its own. It's on its own, just like those previous sequences we had there. Okay, this is very important because for the T2 map, there's nothing, there's no above or below 700. It's just one sequence to choose. And then I'm also gonna have some generic reviews right there. Perfect. I right click and I'm gonna check the auto load. So we're gonna have in the first segments, like I told you, all the new things will be in the first segments. So it won't corrupt my planning on the segment 2 and segment 3. I'm gonna connect this to the auto voice dot settings. And the same here. Check that one and auto voice and segments 1. Perfect. So now we are finished with the mapping, T2 and T1, right? So you can also make a decision in the T2 mapping, either yes or no. So if you're going to have a T2 mapping, you can have yes there or no there. So that sequence will be in yes, and on the no will be empty. That means that whenever, sometimes you don't need a T2 mapping, but you have the chance to choose it. So you can decide this during your workflow. But on this protocol now I just made, it means that you're always going to have a T2 mapping and always going to have T1. But in T1 is very difficult to know which one because we don't know the heart rate of the patient. So that's why I made a decision when it comes to the T1 mapping. So we're going to have a pause. In the pause, I'm going to write contrast. We're using Gadavis, so it depends on what kind of contrast agent you're using. You can write whatever you want here. And then we're going to tick on the contrast agent admonition. And we're going to use Gadavis like that. And I'm going to take OK. So whenever you're coming to this point during the protocol, it will pop up automatically Gadavis, and you can write down how many milliliter you are giving your patient the contrast agent. And for some sites, they're also doing stress perfusion or rest perfusion. So under the Siemens, the dynamic, you have B3FISP right here. You can also use a flash if you want to. I'm just choosing one now to show you that how you can set up the strategy. So this one is now for stress. So I'm going to use a decision right here as well. Stress perfusion. I'm just deleting that one and just drag it over again. Or you can just drag it up as earlier. So like I told you with the T2 mapping, either yes or no. This is like the stress perfusion. During the examination, either you are doing stress perfusion or no. On the perfusion, I'm not going to use any segments. There's too much images, so I don't want it to pop up and delay my workflow. I just want it to be in the background, so I can take a look at it later. So the voice commands for you, it depends if you want to do a manual or breath hold. What you can do now is just move away from the use dot settings. You can either use no voice commands or manually voice, because then you have to manually do it. And we're gonna have a new decision right here, rest perfusion. And you see whenever I'm dragging it over, it goes under the yes. I don't want it to go under the yes. I want it to be as its own. So we need to expand it. But first, let's just gonna use the same sequence, of course. And if you look at this protocol now, it can be a little bit overwhelming, too much information, right? But just need to keep your mind calm and have time for this and do it correctly, so it'll be easy for you. You can see here, I just right click and then I will expand it like that. So now it will be its own stress perfusion and rest perfusion. So the no is over here somewhere, so you don't see that because there is no sequence under the no function. So whenever you're choosing no, there will be no sequence, of course. Choosing yes, this one will be activated. Yeah, just right click there and I choose as a standard no, so default is no. So if I need it, I just have to click yes on that one. And the decision is made during the workflow. This is something you can decide what's more standard for you. And I will just do the same here. Made during the workflow, and I choose no on the rest as well. Perfect. Now I can simulate it. You can see during the protocol, whenever you come to mapping, you can choose whatever the heart rate is. And whenever you come into the perfusion, you can choose either yes or no. It'll be activated and deactivated, same as the rest perfusion. So by doing this, you don't have to go in your protocol and find those sequences and drag it over and so on and so on. So everything is more automatically. And now we're going to go for a short axis. So in the short axis, it's a little bit different here. So to cover the whole heart, usually 11 slices or so. We're using 11 or 13 slices, depends on how big the heart is. We're using 6 millimeter. And by using a distance factor of 66, you can see you now have a gap of 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. What I'm trying to explain to you is if you do a short axis and you move 10, 10, 10, and then we move 10 in between, right? But the gap is 4. So everything is checked here. And it's very important to go into the physio and the pace. And you can see 11 concatenations means 11 breath hold. So it's deactivated because the respiratory control is off. You need to put it as a breath hold. That means that whenever you're doing one short axis, it will be a 10-second break because I already told it. And then it will be a next one. So yeah, not only one breath hold, but 11 breath hold and 10 seconds in between. So it's very important to have it as a breath hold, have it on. You can see now it's one single breath for 1 minute and 39. That's impossible. So we need to have it on. Okay. So now we are finished with that one. What more do we need? We need something about the tissue characterization. So late enhancement is important. And we are using a TI Scout to find the null point of the myocardium. And we're just going to find generic views, which suits for that one. And it contains capture cycles, so we need that one as well. And face-over sampling is good to avoid overfolding. And then we can choose the DE overview if you want to, or you can choose the high res if you want to, or both. So I'm just using the DE overview now. I'm using the same in generic reviews because it's got a capture cycle. However, there's one more thing I want to do with the late enhancement here. Because what is the most important to change is the inversion time, right? So we're going to add on one more here, TI, inversion time. Maybe here. Advanced mode, right TI, and then you can see TI, and then close it. So that means that whenever you open a sequence, you know the TI, let's say it's 280 or 300, and you can just change it fast. . So we're going to connect this one to the right auto voice, and like I told you, segment 1. The same as for TI Scout, segment 1. And of course, you can build whatever you want like this, with the decision, the pause in between, and so on and so on. So it's up to you. Just something I wanted to show you. So you can have a high res here as well. We are using the same generic views because I want to have the TI available to change. And we are just connecting the dot settings and yeah, segments 1. Then we're going to have another decision right here. It's a post-gadolinium T1 mapping. So I'm just using the same names. Of course, not the same sequence because it's different sequence as a post-gadolinium. So yeah, just try to figure out if you can reuse the names. Drag and drop is easy as that. So we go to T1 mapping and we're going to use the short one. And I saw that I did a mistake right here with doing the filming. So above 700, you use that one. So below 700, you should use this one, the short one there. But I think I did the same here. Yeah. So that's wrong. I just did it too fast and I realized that when I made the recording. So up in here, you have a plus and minus. This is zoom. Just to have an overview of the protocol. It's easy to get along and drag and drop the generic views. This is the same views at the pre and the post gadolinium. And of course, use the dot settings for the breathhold, segments 1, the same for that one. This last thing I want to do now is to have everything copied to the master. Okay, you have a lot of slaves, and then you have one master. That's the shimming. The shimming is important. So the 2 chamber is the first sequence you open up, and whenever you finish with the shimming there, everything below will be copying to that shimming. Okay, so this is what I'm doing now. Just mark those 2, click on that one, and I choose the adjustment volume. So I choose OK, and then I mark the short axis with the T2 chamber again, the 2 chamber, and then adjustment volume, and I do it with the rest of the sequences. Because the one thing I want to show whenever that is done. So just, yeah, copy everything. It's too bad that you cannot mark everything and do one copy. In a sequence, whenever you're running the protocol, you can do that. But whenever you're building your protocol, you need to do it one by one, like I'm doing now. Hopefully it will be changed in the future. I think maybe it's changed in the XA platform. I'm not quite sure. But on the E software, it's not possible. However, this is something more like set and go when you just do it and forget it. It's nothing you should do or have to do every day, right? It's just building a protocol takes time, and just keep your mind clear, and yeah, you know it takes time. Perfect. Adjustment bullet. Okay, now we are finished. I'm going to show you one thing here. So let's open the 4th chamber. So whenever you open the 4th chamber, it says like this. This means that before you save the protocol, you did some small adjustments with the manual shimming, and then you save it. So whenever you open, it says to you that something is not automatically here. You should you, or you want to have it manual or automatically. We don't want it to pop up every time. Let me show you here. So whatever you're doing now, all the shimming below is copying to this 2 chamber localizer. So this means that whatever you're doing here now, everything below will be copying to that one. We go to system, you go to adjustment, and we choose cardiac. So whenever you're choosing cardiac, you open your protocol, it will pop up manual or automatically. It will not pop up. Okay. So cardiac, and then everything will be copied like that one. So I open now, you see, nothing pops up, and this one is also now copied to cardiac. So now we are more or less finished with the protocol. There's just a few more things I want to show you doing the scanning, and we're going to do some scanning as well. All right, we're going to test run the protocol. However, when I made the protocol for you guys, it took so long time, so I didn't have much time left to do the test runs. I had the test run another day. Whatever you see here today with the protocol might look a little bit different with Norwegian. However, it's the same setups, which I already showed you. Whenever you are choosing your patient and then you run the protocol, it opens up like this. It automatically pops up the physio. So the physio you cannot turn on and off. You have to go to the view and then go to a different UI to turn it off, right? But we want it to pop up automatically, so you don't want to keep do another click here just to have an overview of the ECG. ECG is extremely important. And this is the breath hold, like I told you earlier. So you can choose in the beginning of the protocol or during examination a different breath hold. Thereby, each sequence need to be connected to the dot settings in the breath hold commands. Okay, like I showed you earlier. So it's Norwegian here. You can choose whatever language you want. If you have a different language, let's say English, it will automatically change over to English. And you can do this during examination as well. So here you can see it opens up what I need to have in front of me, not the whole parameter settings, just what is most important. Like I showed you, you can choose whatever you want, what is most important for you. In this sequence we don't need, I'm just going to delete that one. Now it is the two-chamber localizer like I did earlier show you. It automatically opens up the green box. The green box is the shimming, right? So we're going to do shimming directly to the cardiac, only cardiac. It's very important. So whatever you're doing here now, the rest of the sequences will automatically copy to that specific shimming you are choosing here. So yeah, do it wisely. But if you are regretting, already pushed the run button and you're regretting, you can always open up and reship. But the green box opens up automatically, like you just saw now, and it will close automatically whenever you are saying run. So you don't have to go in here, find the green box, shimming and everything. It opens up automatically and close up automatically. So I watch now. I put apply. It will close automatically, and the fourth chamber opens up, and the shimmy would be gone. You saw that automatically. For being able to have this will work, let's go into protocol, the two chamber, and we will go to this specific sequence, this generic views, only this one. We right click, we go to the adding configuration, the GSP, and here I say on, right? So early in the beginning of when we build the protocol, we had it off, right? We don't want to see this. Only on this sequence I want to see it, and the rest I wanted to have it off. And as long as my sequences are copying to this specific sequence, the adjustment volume like I did, everything will be copying beyond. Okay, so let's go for the next step here. Just gonna do a fast position here just to show you guys all the function we did. So this is just a 4-chamber localizer. And you can see it automatically pops up in the segments 2 or the window number 2. It's perfect because this is exactly what I want. I want it to line up like that. Okay, this is very important. Let's say that the 2-chamber like this one is too oblique. It's not good position, and you want to rerun that one. Do not just drag and drop the sequences because you will lose the copy functions. What you gotta do is to right click on that specific sequence. Let's say in this case 2-chamber localizer, and then you choose either repeat or repeat and open. If you choose repeat and open, it will open itself, so you can do the readjustment and then you can apply. So remember now it's the copy function number 2. I repeat and open. This is very important. During the examination, do not drag and drop. Repeat and open if you want to change something. You see the green box open itself up. That means that I can now do the reshimming if I regret what I did earlier. But what we only got to do now is just a small adjustment for the 2-chamber, like that one. And you can see now it's not 2 anymore. The the number 2 is now broken. So we are now at number 4. So this is the master, and all the slaves below there is copying to number 4. Just because we did the repeat on open. And everything below will be copied, as you see. So now we're happy, we can do the short axis localizer. Something like this. And the short axis localizer, I already told it sequence to go on segment 3. So it will be here. So now I have a great overview. 2 chamber, 4 chamber, and short axis. And all of them are just localizers. Yeah, like this. And I can see now I need phase over sampling because I might get some fold over. So you see the function is right there. It's perfect. If you want to have an overview all the parameters, you still are available to do that. You just push on the magnify glass down below there, and it will open up. So sometimes just a few parameters is much easier to look at compared to the whole settings. So it's all up to you. And I want to show you this function right here. You remember I told you whenever you're drawing a new sequence from the Siemens tree, it's tick on. I wanted to have it off, but let me show you what happens if you have it on. So we're just gonna do like this just to show you. So if you have it on, you are not available to tilt it, okay? So we just turn it off again and I will show you. So now I have the possibilities to tilt as I want. Nothing is locked. So we turn it on again. You see now I don't have the possibilities to tilt anything. So that's the main issue. I wanted to have it off. So sometimes the cardiac is lying like this, like that. I want my field of view to go along with the cardiac. So let's go back to the 4th chamber, and you see here we can get overfolding. So we just increase the phase of the sampling a little bit. And then we were trying to position as a 4th chamber. And you can also see that the auto call select is on because this is what we did earlier. Yeah, the planning part I already made a video. So if you haven't seen this, just feel free to do so. But I just want to do a fast long axis now just to show you. So this is long axis, and we're gonna have 2 chamber, 3 chamber, and also some after this. So we need to push this button right there, the scan button right there. I'm just gonna write 4 chamber there, scan button right there. So now we can rename this to 2 chamber or 3 chamber, whatever you want. I'm gonna do a 2 chamber, and I have it available there. Just copy that one. And I can see that there's some overfolding there, so I increase this a little bit. You can see the video is spinning, and I will show you also where you can do the settings. It's more like a set and forget. So just do it once and it will be remembered. Okay, just gonna show you here. So it's very cool because you can plan while it's kind of spinning, right? So let's go for there, 3 chamber. I'm just gonna position all this before I show you the video, how you can turn it on and off. So if the video is still, you can just push the keyboard, space keyboard on your keyboard, and it will automatically spin the video. Okay, so here you have what I showed you with the mapping, below 700 or above. So where can I take a look at it? I can see here the R interval is above 700 here, so you just need to take that sequence, which is above. And it says, please make a decision or decide, and whenever I'm choosing what I want, and it's above 700, and I just put apply. And it will open up the right sequence. Low heart rate and high heart rate is 2 different sequences. So now we are coming to the point where we're going to give contrast, and yeah, you see there's a pop-up there. You can choose whatever contrast you are using and what kind of volume you are giving. If you want to change the breath fall in between, let's say the patient needs more break in between, you can just push on the dot there and it will open up here. Whatever you change here, the rest of the protocol will change thereby. So you don't need to go into one and one each sequence and change. So everything will be changed thereby. So short axis, I'm going to show you, we are running a short axis as a stack, like I show you. So we're having around 11 sequences, slices. So for this short axis, I see that we should have something which is called slices here, because sometimes we need to increase the slices. So this is something, of course, I can change later on. But sometimes running a protocol makes it easier to see, oh, I should have this one here, or I should remove this one here. So yeah, you know where to do that. We have 13 slices, so we can reduce this to 11 or whatever. So I go into the position mode, and I know that each slice, each short axis slices will move 10, 10, 10, right? Because we have 66% of distance factors as 4 millimeter. 4 plus 6 is 10. So right here, I would choose a nice clean number like 65. I know that the next slice will be 75, 85, or the other way. It depends, but it only moves 10, 10, 10. So if you choose 66.7, then it would be next one would be 76.7. You know, choosing a clean number is much easier to do the counting, so you know you have all the short axes like 65, 75, or 40, 50, 60, whatever. So clean number is much easier. So in this case, I'm going to choose 65. And this is also something I'm showing in my cardiac planning video. We're just going to run this one. So this one is run like a whole stack. So let's say you are running the first one now, and then it will count down 10 seconds before it will do another breath hold. But sometimes the problem is that the patient might need a longer break or need to talk to you during the whole stack. So if you stop the sequence now, then the stack will be gone. Whatever you run will be there. However, the next sequences in those stacks will be ruined. Okay, so what you can do is just push on the pause. Whenever you've done that, it will count down to 0, and look what happened here. It will count down to 0, and then it wouldn't run automatically. It will wait for you to push on the play button or the run button before it will continue. There we go. So that means that nothing will go automatically. You are now the chance to talk to the patient, or the patient wants to talk to you before you decide to continue, instead of choosing to stop the sequence and then you lose whatever's not been running right. Okay, let me show you here the video. So for making the video available, you go up in here to the scroll, we have what we call a movie on, and then the properties. Inside of these properties, you have a few functions. You have what we call real time, as numbered, image text reference, and position graphics on. You can do whatever you want here and test out. But this is where you set and you forget. So whenever you've done this, it will work every time you turn on the scanner. It's pretty awesome because you can do the positioning while it's spinning, right? This is the box mode. You see the difference? A line bar and the box mode. So like I told you earlier, doing my protocol setup for the protocol, not sequence, I can choose here. Add the properties, like I showed you earlier, into the add-in configuration, GSP, and then we have this line mode or box mode. I'm choosing line because I wouldn't want to see one line and not double. It depends on what you want. Okay, there's something I want to show you here now. And let's open just this one. Then we're going to show you. We're going to rename this to 4-chamber because I want to have something which shows you guys how you can get the 4-chamber, right? And you can get the 2-chamber. So let me show you. Generic reviews. Adding configuration. Here is the guidance. So within the guidance, it can show you how you can get the images and how you can position, right? The problem here is that, well, I was trying to show you guys here, then I had to leave the scanner, so I couldn't show you anymore. But another day I managed to get to another scanner and show you. So this is the Axis platform. What I'm showing here now is totally the same. You go into the generic views, and then we go to adding configuration. So you see, this is the standard routinely from Siemens. So you can add whatever images you want there. 4-chamber, 2-chamber, 3-chamber, and how you can position it for your colleagues. You just push on the camera button right there. So back here, you already have ready a 4-chamber, 2-chamber, or whatever reference images you want to choose. And then you can see the yellow box right there. This is where the images are captured. So everything outside is not captured, right? So you need to zoom in, zoom out, do whatever you want to have it inside that box, like this one maybe. So what's cool about this is if you're using your reference lines, you can see in all places how you can position it, right? So it's not only for cardiac, it's like this one for MSK imaging, for knee, for brain, whatever you want. If you push down all segments, everything will be copied. If you only want one, then you push this button, the camera button right there. And then only goes for this one. And you can write whatever you want here, like yeah. So let's take another one for the middle. And yeah, capture that one as well. One more thing I want to show, if you push this button right there, or there, or there, if you push this one, you can upload your own image. If you have your own image, you can upload it through a USB pen. Just to let you know. Or you can choose directly from what you have in the scanner right here. So whatever you want here, guidance, remember this, remember that. It's much easier for your colleagues if you want to show you them 4-chamber. So in the end, it can be something like this one. It's very awesome, right? It's a great overview of the 4-chamber, 2-chamber, long axis, and maybe some difficult positioning where it's difficult to remember. This is a great overview. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you find this video valuable. I'm very sorry that the video became that long because it's very difficult to pack everything together with a short amount of time. Hopefully you find this video valuable. Nonetheless, before we close up, I do have a question for you. Are you using the Go Heart Assist? If so, let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, do not forget to push the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will get a ding ding on the next video when I upload it. Until next time, take care and peace out.